last time we tried to take a trip to the Metaverse, it didn't go so well. We had some technical issues on our end.
But this time it's going to work out, we promise you. We have lots of questions, maybe even more than we did last time. So this morning we're diving back in. Here to help answer some of our questions in the virtual world is David Whelan. He's the CEO of the virtual reality software firm Engage. David, you're the perfect person for this. Good morning. Good to see you again.
Good morning to you from Ireland.
So let's start with the basics here, David. What is the Metaverse? What in the world is it? Where is it?
So the Metaverse is the evolution of how we communicate via the internet. So it's going to change everything. It's going to change how we work together, how we communicate, how we interact. And it's a 3D spatial computing network. So today when you're on the internet, you're looking at flat websites, which are just pages, like pages of a book, and you're communicating using video. But the Metaverse is a 3D spatial location where you can physically walk around in these locations. You can meet people in avatar form, shake their hands. You know, it will really feel like you're in these real locations, speaking to real people, because in fact you are speaking to real people. And we've lots of businesses that currently use this as their virtual office as well. So instead of having a physical office, they would have a virtual 3D world where they can go in and hold meetings and conferences. And why even hold meeting in a meeting room? You know, you can hold it on the surface of the moon, or you can be inside the human body. Literally, the possibilities are endless.
But I mean, why do we need this? Or is it just because we can?
Again, it is the evolution. So today, especially with what has happened with COVID, a lot of people are working remote hybrid. And what happens is they don't ever go to a physical office. So they feel very disconnected from each other and their other colleagues. So using a spatial computing network, especially if you're in VR, you can actually replicate that office feeling where you're inside, and you can communicate a lot more naturally. So if you were ever on a Zoom call with 15, 20 people, it's very hard to get work done because the person who's speaking really has full control. But when you're in a spatial metaverse with 50, 100 people, you have spatial audio. So you can lean over to the person next to you, whisper in their ear without, disturbing the presenter maybe, or even in a classroom setting. And we have a lot of metaversities starting up in the platform through some great partners like Optimadomi, where you can have a whole classroom of children inside creating experiences and getting that classroom experience instead of actually going to a physical classroom. So it's a better way and a more productive way of communicating.
Yeah, it sounds like the possibilities are endless, but you mentioned children, and the first thing that comes to mind is this like the Wild Wild West? What are some of the safety concerns when it comes to kids?
Yeah, so absolutely, there would be safety concerns. So there's a lot of platforms out there right now. A lot of these are gaming platforms where their whole goal is we need to get as many users as possible and make it as frictionless as possible to get these users. So they don't put a lot of checks and balances in place. What we're doing here at Engage is we've come from the other end of the spectrum where, because we designed it originally as an education platform, security is very important to us. And the way that the metaverse will be controlled in the future is that your avatar, which is a digital version of you, will be turned into an NFT. So there's only one version of that avatar on the metaverse at any one time, the same way as there's only one of you in the real world. And the way that that's going to be verified is there's a lot of these new headsets that are coming out that have eye tracking. So you could do a retina scan and it can recognize, hey, this is David after putting on the headset. We're going to find his NFT avatar on the blockchain, and there's just going to be one version of David walking around. So that person walking around is not going to be saying racist things. So there's just a certain way that I act within this platform. So if I get banned from one platform, right, I'll be banned from all the other platforms because my avatar is transferring over two different versions of, metaverse
David,
worlds.
My head is hurting. I mean, when I try to think about this, my head is hurting. But did you see Ready Player One? I mean, the real world was not good. You know what I mean? Is this a good thing that we're moving toward?
So a lot of companies, if they try to replicate the real world in the metaverse, they're going to fail horribly. The real world is fantastic. So when you go to a concert, as an example, there's nothing beats going to a real physical concert with your friends, feeling the music coming through your body, and having a fantastic experience. you can't replicate that in the virtual world. What you need to do is give people a different experience. So instead of going to a virtual concert where it's replicating an onstage performance, maybe you're inside the artist's head and you can see their thoughts swimming through their head. So as they're talking about, maybe you're singing about flying, maybe you're flying over a skyscraper, or maybe if they're talking about love and happiness and feelings and all that kind of stuff, maybe you get that sense from the visuals that you're experiencing. You don't replicate the real world. You have to give people a different experience that they can't get anywhere else.
It's a fascinating concept, and it sounds like really the important thing is making sure you have the security parameters in place ahead of time so that things don't go left quickly, because I guess the possibilities would be endless on that end as well. You did a wonderful job explaining it, David.
Yes.
I know this is just the tip of the iceberg, but David Whelan, CEO of the virtual reality software firm Engage, and there's the information, their website and Twitter. Thanks for joining us.
I'm going to retake Metaverse 101. I'm not ready for Metaverse 201.
Not ready to graduate?
Yet. No, I'm not. All right, Marissa, over to you.